And we're back. And it's an awkward time to be in the podcasting dead because we're having some mic issues in the studio, so JP and Matt are having to share the mic, and it's just really awkward.
Sharing, it's good, though.
This reminds me of when my niece was younger, and she would want an ice cream cone, but she was too little to hold it, so I held it out for her while she licked it.
Would you tease her like this?
All right, I don't even want to go down the road that I feel like we're getting ready to go down.
Right,
so
the thing that Matt's trying to get across is he wants you to lick the mic. So lick it, JP.
Don't do it, because I have to talk into this microphone also.
You have to touch that
He has
microphone.
coffee breath this morning.
JP?
You don't even drink coffee. That's really weird.
You know, sometimes it rubs off of...
JP and rubbing off. Not the first time that's happened.
Hey-o. All right, so getting into this episode, I actually have a couple of questions I'm going to ask you guys to get you to weigh in the episode.
Can I say something real quick, though? Just to start it off? Not a bad episode.
Okay.
Not a bad episode.
I think that I told my dad what I thought that they did well was the telling many different, like a couple of
the name
different
cards,
storylines,
letting us know like who they're focusing on.
I thought that was cool,
yeah.
but I just like that they took the Game of Thrones approach and let us see different storylines instead of like Oceanside. If they would have spent the whole episode with Enid and Aaron, we'd be in here rolling our eyes.
It was very Kill Bill-ish with the name card thing.
That is very true, very Tarantino-ish. And then I'll get to my qualms with the episode in a little bit. The Enid and Aaron thing was one of them, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
That was probably we call it Oceanside, right? Like I just don't really care about that community.
Enid's really turning into a lovely young lady, isn't she?
She is. When the Enid card came up, I rolled my eyes and I was like, oh, God, and I got to find out what's going on. But I didn't mind it. But at the same time, toward the end of that scene, same thing that happens every time. I'm going back to get them to come with us. I'm coming with you. No, you can't. Okay.
Right.
And they go there, and it's just, oh, man.
You get so tired of it.
I enjoy it.
It's a plot device. I get it, but,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't realize there were so many garbage people, by the way.
Golly, there were a lot.
I mean, when they were coming through, I had no idea. How cool was it to see Jadis just talk normal?
And that was my second qualm of the episode, because same thing happened when Ezekiel lost all of his people. He just completely dropped character. Same thing. She lost all her people, completely dropped character.
Right.
I was really glad, but it would have been better if I hadn't experienced the whole Ezekiel thing before.
Right.
That was nice to hear her use pronouns. That was great.
It's like I told JP, I think I'm actually, and it might just be me and that's fine, but I'm actually interested in Jadis's backstory now. Like through this episode, I really do hope they start telling us more about the garbage people, because he mentioned a helipad, solar panels. I mean, maybe there was something going on that,
Yeah, all we got to see was the big grinder thing.
So I'm interested
Turned
to
everyone
see.
to applesauce.
And when she said the whole, like, a chance to start anew, that still doesn't excuse the stupid way that they talk, but it at least gives you some insight to, like, okay, so basically her and a bunch of her friends got together and were like, all right, we're going to rebuild society. We're going to start talking less, and we're going to... At least we got to,
and that makes a lot more sense. I'm pretty sure she was just like a hippie like artist or something that went to farmers markets on the weekend and sold her paintings. Look at this hubcap that I painted with my handprint on it. This is true art.
If you don't see it, you're not.
And then all these other hippie people are like, let's do a commune,
Right.
and then the zombie apocalypse happened.
What was her sidekick's name? Byron?
Was that
Brian? Or
sure.
He just was like, she's hot, so I'm following. Because he didn't look like someone that would be hanging with the rest of that crowd, but he's just like, she's hot.
That'd have been great to, as she was watching her zombie friends go into the grinder. It would have been great to hear her call out each person's name: Byron, Sarah, James, Stephen, Phil.
So now that actually is a good segue into another question. So JP, how do you think that Negan is going to react when he finds out that Simon decimated the garbage people after being told the importance of keeping people alive?
I don't know why Simon, why the big lie? Why not a smaller lie? Like, hey, they started popping off rounds, so we had to gun them down, He went with a great big old lie. I
would have straight up been like, apparently, her and Rick must have been at odds. We got there, and it looks like Rick wiped. I mean, because that would make sense. She's flip-flopped so much. You could, Rick could, which then again, though, if you're Simon, I guess that at any point telling Negan that they died, he's going to be suspicious. So that's probably why he had to go with the big lie of everything's fine. Because if he came back and said, oh, they were all dead, Negan and he had just had a fight.
Yeah, but now he's having to trust all of his guys to keep this secret. And you know how that is. I mean,
you think they're going to spark some kind of little anti-Negan rebellion?
I'm just saying, people talk. It's hard to keep a secret that big amongst that big a group of people. So,
do you think that Simon's men would follow him over Negan?
Yeah, I think if given the opportunity, everyone's a chatty Cathy.
Right.
And it's going to get back to him, you know.
Right, okay.
Just like Simon didn't say it, but I'm sure he's probably thinking, I don't really like Negan's new haircut, so, you know, that'll probably get back to him, too.
It looks a lot like my haircut, so I like it.
And if Simon doesn't say it, then you're out, because Simon has to say it. That's the rules behind Simon Says.
Wouldn't that be a great fight scene between Negan and Simon when Negan like goes to swing and he's like, Simon says stop. Negan's like, damn it.
Or like Negan's explained to his people, Simon says that everybody died at the garbage or something like that. Everybody's like, I'm very confused. Are we playing a game right now, or is it?
Simon said, come here. Like, the game? Or does he actually want to see us? But so, all right, back to we're kind of flip-flopping here. Usually we try to go in order from beginning to end, but I just was last minute writing these questions out, so we're just kind of bouncing all over the place. Matt, do you think Aaron is going to make it back from the Oceanside and rally them up, or do you think he might actually die?
I think he'll rally some of them up.
Think so?
That's it, yeah. And I really did. I enjoyed that where she said, your grandma, like, Enid got some balls to her. She was like, your grandma got herself killed.
Some massive lady nuts.
Yeah, massive lady nuts.
So elegantly puts it.
Yep. He did say that, didn't he?
Did he say beach ball size lady nuts? Is that what he says?
Either way, lady nuts. That's just, it sounds like a new, like from the makers of corn nuts.
Right.
Lady nuts.
You know? If you like nuts, your lady will love these.
That's good.
But yeah, so you think Aaron's going to rally? And that was actually my next question, I guess, for both of you. Do you guys think that, like, we're going to kind of have the come-together battle scene? They're going to get Oceanside, Alexandria, the Hilltop, all together for, like, one final big battle with the Saviors this season, like, kind of at the end?
Yeah, I think the last stand's definitely going to be the Hilltop, and everyone's going to be, you know, joining arms, and, yeah.
They're going to skip up to the gates?
I wish if I could buy the world a Coke kind of thing.
Yeah, only with more machine guns.
Gone. Okay. So let's see, what else do I have here? Okay, how do you think Carl would react to Rick basically being given two chances to follow his last wish and basically just throwing them both away?
Yeah, that's something that got. Oh man, I mean, you're literally, it was your son's last wish. You can't even.
Like Jadis, I do get what he told Michonne. Like, you know, Michonne was saying, well, I think Carl would have wanted us to bring her with us. But Rick's like, well, I mean, I kind of honored Carl by not killing her, even though I kind of wanted to. I just wanted to see her. I just didn't want her to come with us.
And what the stages of grief, like one of the early ones is anger. So he's probably really pissed off at Carl just for getting himself killed with this nonsense. So not following his wishes, it was probably just like, man, stupid Carl.
Whoa,
Carl.
Wow, guys. Wow, too early.
I'm just
too
saying.
Early. No, it was a very stupid decision on Carl's part. Let's go help a stranger. Like, that guy could have totally just stabbed you in the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? So many.
And it's going to be crazy when we don't hear about Sadiq for the next, like, 3 or 4 episodes. And then toward the end of the season, we're going to be like, oh, that's right. Carl saved this guy.
Yep. I just liked whoever commented and said, I just can't believe that Sadiq got a better goodbye to Carl than Daryl did, who's been with him since season 1, you know? But, all right, so what do you think Jadis's role going forward is going to be? A lot of people are speculating that this is even more of a push for her to become alpha. Because, you know, Carl's not there. They're going to have to change up the Whisperer storyline some. I mean, they could make it to where Jadis goes off and starts this crazy group of, you know, raping. Negan would not like the Whisperers either. You know, I've never really put 2 and 2, you know.
You watch, and you if that happens, if she becomes alpha in the season finale, she'll come across some big, tall person, and she'll, like, meet them, and it'll be one of those quick kind of references, and then
or, like, she'll look up from, like, she'll be in, like, a bathroom or something and look up into a mirror, and she's, like, bald now. Which the actress said that she would absolutely, you know, be willing to shave her head and play that role.
I bet she would. I mean, you know,
she was very shady about it in an interview about if she was going to become alpha. But now it just looks like the stage is even more being, you know, it's. I could see it happening. I mean, now she's got reason. Like, this was the deciding factor where she might have stuck with Rick, but now I think she's just going to be like, screw Rick.
I thought we were going to see it this episode when she's banging the pole and leading them to the grinder, but you don't actually see her. I thought when it zoomed out and you saw her, she's going to be covered in guts, you know, and just gathering them, all of her people around her. I thought we were going to see the debut of Alpha in this episode.
Did you? Man, that would have been awesome.
It would have been.
How long will that goop be good for?
Well, if she, I think that's why she's eating all the applesauce to get those cans ready for the goop and then reseal, and you know.
Dude, that's a good. I like that. It's a good little conspiracy theory. Maybe just a theory, not really conspiracy, but.
Oh, and speaking of conspiracy theories, JP, you told me you've got one. You were telling me last week.
Oh, yeah. I think that definitely is worth a...
No, keep talking.
Yes.
Keep going.
You were either saying "Go Down on Me" or you were doing you were singing Eminem's 8 Mile soundtrack in your head. But either way,
just keep the mic right here.
We got this.
Really loud.
I'm not gonna lie, my arm's getting a little tired.
We can switch off if you like.
Can we switch arms? Can we switch off?
Yeah, there you go. I keep telling him, and
I love it. You're doing like judo over here or something.
Lips.
I really want some ice cream right now. Here, I'm gonna hand it off to you for a minute.
Okay, it's in my hands. No, I think that's definitely worth a separate discussion. I have some corroborating evidence that maybe this whole thing with Chandler Riggs and Carl, they're the same person. Okay. He might be back for season 9. I know that sounds nuts. I know it's crazy, but I think there's been a lot of subterfuge going on.
Okay, well,
and I do have. This isn't just me talking out of my rear end. I've got some pretty provocative evidence.
First of all, I'm pretty sure you made up the word. I'm just going to hold on to the mic.
I forget if I don't move my hand.
If you
two
want,
you
can
I'll hold it. I got it.
Y'all can just hold hands on the mic.
No.
I
want both of us to hold it?
Yeah.
Like, you have to put just let me. I got it. I got you.
Are you sure? I promise I can do it right.
I hope. I cannot wait till we get our mics fixed.
Okay, should I hold? Okay, there we go. I forgot what I was saying.
Well, like I was, no, go ahead.
No, I mean, where did you hear about these things?
I've been doing a lot of research.
Okay.
I don't reveal my sources. That's the number one rule of rogue journalism.
That's true. So you think Carl could come back as like a ghost or a figment of,
or as a breathing person?
No. It's nothing supernatural about it, and it plays into what's going on in the comics right now.
You heard all these theories of how Carl might survive, and then we saw.
So he didn't really. You think he didn't shoot himself in the head?
Like I said, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but there's a lot of things are amiss, and not everything is as it seems.
And meanwhile, Matt and I both think that
hashtag Carl's dead.
He's dead. As much as I hated, and I would have loved to have seen, Did
that ever trend on Twitter? Carl's dead. Hashtag Carl's dead. Because I know Carl's not dead. That might have trended.
You say that, I just imagine people running down the streets. Carl's dead. In the old.
I'm so sad for Carl and his family.
Like, oh,
you'll believe.
I'm gonna take them an apple pie. But actually, really, I thought this was a good episode. I really hope that AMC continues to do hey, some of these plot lines are boring, so instead of spending a whole freaking hour on them, let's chop it up and, mix it in with some good stuff. I felt like that kept the pacing of this from getting too stale. About time you got tired of the Oceanside, bam, you were back to the garbage people or whatnot.
It seems like next week they're going to shoot over to Maggie in the Hilltop and
Father Gabriel. He looks a lot better.
Did you when that scene first started?
He
for the
came
next
out
week,
the woods.
It was like, is he a zombie? Oh no, he's not. Okay, but I feel like they did that on purpose just to make you think for a split second if you weren't paying attention.
The reunion and the way it looked like almost like Little House on the Prairie. The way he's just running in like I'm back, but
coming out of the woods like a grown baby. He was like ripping through.
But so he's going to be back. He looked a lot healthier than the last time we saw him, I thought. But I mean, it was very
healthier. You're right.
Still sick, nonetheless, but healthier. So
vitamin C.
Matt, what were your qualms with this episode?
We've covered them. The Enid and Aaron. Right. No, I'm going with you. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Okay, and then the JADIS dropping her accent as soon as all of her people died. Look, they're the plot devices that we've seen. And apparently Angela Kang was one of the writers of this episode.
Okay, good. I hope that she writes the next season that way. Yeah.
So, and those are pretty much my only qualms.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid episode.
I enjoyed the whole, and I figure we'll get to it in a little bit, but the ending with Negan and Rick.
Really that's what I was saving the best for last. I reckon we've kind of moved through. I'm trying to think of anything that happened prior to because the Negan Carl reaction is worth an entire conversation. But was there anything else that we need to touch on before we kind of get to the end of this?
Michonne was scaring me with her devil may care attitude, Oh,
he's talking about when they were putting the fires out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. I love that gazebo.
It's a palapa.
He's like, Michonne, we can build more gazebos. Come on.
That's true. That would be a great line. Did he? Dude, he didn't say that.
No.
Thought I missed that line. We can build more gazebos. Come on.
It was like a split second, and I don't think that they would just kill Michonne randomly. If they did, I'd be very angry. But It was a split second there when she was kind of getting swarmed that I was like, holy shit, is Michonne about to die?
Right before the credits at the beginning started to roll, the cinematography was really weird. The way like the camera was kind of zooming in on them a little bit or zooming out. It was, I don't know. It was really,
I noticed that too. It's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
She starts getting eaten and it shows Rick's face and he's like, oh, and it's like, dun, 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 zoom in real close. But no, it was a time or two where I thought Michonne, I was going to say, dude, they cannot kill Michonne and then Carl. I mean, Carl, then Michonne. That, like,
done.
Like, I believe the riot from that would be worse than if you killed Daryl, which we've not seen yet, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
I think at this point, people would be whatever if Daryl died.
Yeah.
I don't think people would be as upset as they used to would have been.
I saw that Denai Guerrero that plays Michonne told Scott Gimple that if she didn't get a proper goodbye with Carl, that they were going to have problems. That was her reaction in Carl's death was, well, if you don't let us,
Could you imagine her being like, she's shaved her head for the Black Panther role, and she's probably like been in the gym like working out, so she just come in there and be like, "There's going to be a problem." Be okay, I got you.
I brought Wakanda with me.
Like Jesus.
But no, I thought that too. It was interesting to see her in her role because we always see her as such a badass, and we usually see her get softer with like Carl and everything and the baby. But it was cool to see her kind of as the supportive girlfriend this time, like when Rick pulls over and is like, "I need a minute," and she does
the voice of reason.
Yeah, she's just kind of like, "That's that's okay, that's okay," and it just was cool to see her kind of go from badass to.
And they use her for that a lot. They've been like recently, especially since her and Rick have started a relationship. They've had to use her a lot as a voice of reason.
I think Rick kind of broke through that wall. You know what I mean? And she just kind of was do her own thing, and then she's found love with Carl and Rick and this group that she's with. So I feel like they've
that was another qualm I had. At the very beginning when she decides, I'll just stab these 3 zombies. So that way they'll, keep the wall closed or whatever. But they're like old, decaying zombies. How are they holding back like the?
Matt, my friend, you don't live in the zombie apocalypse. Have you ever dealt with a rotting zombie body? Do you?
Wait, was that? No, never mind.
I was gonna say I don't want to know.
Well, I had to go to nursing home a lot when I was younger, but no.
Oh yeah. No, how about that zombie that ripped his face off trying to get through that gate at the very beginning? That was wicked, man. That's one thing they can't cover. The Walking Dead is not disappointed with like zombie gore, though. They've had some really memorable moments when it comes to just grotesque zombie.
It's just like the whole Morgan, not Morgan. Yeah, was it Morgan that pulled the guy's guts out last week? It's just one of those things where I see it, it's like, whoa, gnarly, but whatever.
I think the one that still makes my skin crawl, because I don't like things don't bother me that much when it comes to gore. But the episode where, what was it? Was it Tara or somebody was trying to grab a zombie and like was trying to hold them and like rip their skin off their back?
Was it the burnt skin, the burnt chicken skin?
I don't think they were.
Thing?
Maybe. I don't think they were burnt like a fire or anything recently, no. But it was, I just remember that one, I was like, huh. Or like when Tara once again tried to pull the zombie out from under the RV when it was chasing, it's been so long, the governor's girlfriend.
Yeah, that meat just slid right off the bone.
Yeah, that was, so yeah, they definitely have some, Greg Nicotero.
Again, making me think of chicken. But
do you want chicken?
I do.
I would like some rotisserie chicken right now.
I would love rotisserie chicken.
For me, it was during the prison raid. They ripped one of the prison guards' gas masks off.
Yep.
And the face just comes right off with it.
Yep, I remember that. Man, that was
a long time ago.
Okay, so now the moment we've waited for to wrap this podcast up. The Negan Carl reaction. I'm not going to lie, it was everything I wanted it to be and more. Like, I didn't want them to make Negan just be uncharacteristically sympathetic, but you knew he liked Carl, so you needed to know that it hurt him. But I was going to be mad if he was just like, well, Rick, looks like, and there was no kind of sadness. I thought they did that so perfect. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is such a charismatic actor that he can go from yelling at Simon, angrily and being cocky to really sympathetic almost and hurt.
Yeah, and you could tell that he was planning on killing Rick and taking Carl under his wing. I mean, he had already kind of started that process, but he
had plans.
He was going to keep Carl around.
So do you think, knowing how much he liked Carl, do you think that he actually was going to kill Carl back at the back at Alexandria? At the finale
I never thought he did. I guess there's, you can say what you like. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I didn't feel like he was.
I feel like if he did, it would have been a heat of the moment type thing. Like, I don't think he went there with any intention to kill Carl. He was going to kill one person per him and Sasha's agreement. And I don't think it would have been Carl. I think just after the rebellion, the kickback, he was angry. I think that that he picked Carl. And I think he would have done it, but it would have been one of those things he would have definitely regretted.
I think it was going to be a fake out, but I mean, I read. Sometimes I read too far into things.
Okay.
And I did some research because, of course, everybody tried to decipher what the letter said. And I think
I was reading that. It's kind of broken.
Right. Yeah. Express.co.uk, I think, had of all the websites I looked at, they had the best one. And it said, Negan, this is Carl, just in case he didn't know. Negan, this is Carl.
I would have liked to have seen a letter read in Carl's voice. I hope we get that before it's over with. Anyways, Matt,
somebody reported that Chandler Riggs doesn't know what the letter said. Like, he didn't write the letters himself. Somebody else, so he doesn't even know what they said.
It's not even genuine.
Right. Negan, this is Carl. Back when, blank, someone, I got bit, we didn't ever doing, I was just helping someone, and something, I don't know. You might be gone, maybe my dad, he killed you, but I don't think so. I think, illegible, working on a way out, maybe you got out, maybe, unillegible, lost cause, and you just want to kill all of us. I think you have to be who you are. Illegible, what you wanted. I wanted to ask you, maybe you'll beat us. If you do, there'll just, the way out is working together. It's forgiveness, have to be apart, offers you peace, start.
That sounds like a kid trying to explain to his parents that he's not high.
Offers you peace.
They catch him at the door. Son, are you high tonight? Peace.
Like that 70s show and the wall is like
might
moving.
be my dad.
Maybe killed you.
Zombie. But yeah, but I'm kind of like you though. I think it was you or maybe it was JP. I thought it was you though.
If it's good, I'll take credit for it.
Okay, I just feel like my only beef with Carl wanting peace is they come so suddenly with these changes in perspective. You know what I mean? Like, be different if last season, when Negan took over, Carl actually from the beginning was like, Dad, let's work with them, and maybe this will be the better way. But he was just as in the fight, and then it's just seeing Sadiq out there just completely changes his perspective. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have more weight to it, I feel like, if this was something we had known Carl stood for at least a good season or two, not a couple of episodes back. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Rick turning around going, I don't ever want to kill again. You'd be like, what?
Negan's definitely not letting any ground up either. He's like, look, Rick, this is still the way it's got to be. It wasn't like, well, Rick, why don't we talk about things? Maybe we can meet in the middle.
Right.
He's still, nobody's giving up any ground.
I don't think that Negan would have given up any ground at all, but keep in mind that basically Rick straight up went from, he wanted us to come up, come up with peace, but then Rick himself goes, but it's too late for that. I'm going to kill you. So we don't know. Maybe Negan would have actually given up a little ground or had a ceasefire, or I don't think he would have surrendered, but I think that you could have got a little something out of him. But now basically Rick just followed it up with, my son's dead. He wanted you and I to stop this nasty fighting, but F you. I'm going to kill you anyways.
And it's not as easy to say, like, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy on the show.
Right.
Well, except for the governor. Like, yeah, he was definitely the bad guy. But, like, this all started because of Rick and his group.
Yeah, well, yeah, it did. I mean, it did. It started with because basically they were trying to help out the Hilltop. It's just one of those like philosophical arguments, because it's like the only reason they helped the Hilltop was because Negan had the Hilltop under his thumb anyway.
Right, but it's like one of those mind your own business kind of things.
Right, yeah, they should have just stayed out. I think
you're right, moral dilemma.
Well, you got to think, though, the Saviors had already found them before that, right? Weren't there those people that Daryl and all of them had gotten a scuffle with?
I
think they were.
With the bazooka.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like they were on a collision course.
Yeah, well, they were going to kill one of the people in that little convoy, in Daryl's little, away team.
Yeah. Because all right, now that leads to my next question. By the way, just because people are such sticklers if you can't remember her name, it was Lily who killed the governor, and that was a comics. Spoiler alert, sorry. Ooh. But I'm talking about it was Lily was the name of because they named her after that girl, so the name of the girl on the show was Lily that actually killed the governor on the show. It was her little girl that Tara was trying to rescue out from under the RV. Anyway, so just because if you can't remember her name, people are like, how can you do a podcast when you don't remember every single name? I'm sorry, after like 100 of them, sometimes, 5 seasons down the road, they get a little,
The person that commented that a while back, do you think that's what they sounded like?
Probably.
Very prepubescent kind of thing?
Yeah. Okay. Why can't you remember? But no, her name's Lily, and she wasn't the same character as the comics, but I think they kind of named her Lily kind of as a shout out. But she actually has her own book series now. The first 2 or 3, if you like The Walking Dead, are really good. The rest after that are not good. Basically, after Robert Kirkman stepped back from helping Jay, whoever, right? Yeah. Anyways, so Negan, what was my final? I had one final question. Okay, here we go. Do you think that, how did I write it? Let me see. Do you think Negan actually thinks that he's saving everyone, or is he just kind of playing king and using that as his excuse? Do you feel like deep down in his heart, he feels like his plan, while brutal, is saving the world? Or do you think he's just like a kid that got loose in a candy shop and he's, kind of making an excuse for like, hey, no, I'm totally trying to save everyone?
Well, oh, no, you go ahead. You go first.
Sure I was going to go. Oh, yeah, right. No, I think Negan's intentions are pure. I think Simon understands that it's just a racket. I think Simon's a lot more rooted in the reality of the situation. But no, Negan, I think his heart's in it.
I agree. I totally agree. I think, especially after the conversation with Simon and the conversation with Rick, Negan really, he feels like he is in the business of saving people. And he thinks maybe you have to kill a couple people.
Yep, you kill one or two, and kind of one of those the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few type thing. Like you kill a few people, but you save kind of like a Watchmen scenario. You kill a few people to bring everyone together.
That might be your first Star Trek reference since we started doing this podcast. The needs of the many. That's a Spock quote.
Yeah, not a big Star Trek fan.
Nice, tickled me right where I need it to be.
I don't want to know where I tickled you. As long as you enjoyed it.
It was right where he needed to be tickled. That's all we need to know.
Okay. But so, I agree. I think that Negan in his mind, I didn't know if maybe one of you thought like he was just doing what he wanted and then tried to use that as the excuse. Kind of like how people will write songs that no one understands because the lyrics are pointless and then go, no, you don't get it because you're not open-minded. Like, no.
That was Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. That's what your impression was. No, I agree with you.
Nice. Yeah, I think that he thinks. Because in the comics, that's the way I feel like. Because you and I had said that, and spoiler alert again, comics. I mean, we talk a lot about the comics on here. Sorry. And there's a point in the comics where Negan and Rick have a conversation, and Rick tells Negan how it could have been with trade routes and cooperation and peace. And Negan actually, like, before shit hits the fan, Negan steps back and looks to like he's actually pondering it, like, I've been wrong all along. We should have done it your way, blah, 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 blah. And we don't know if he was being an ass or if his eyes were really open, because if he really thought he was saving the world, it might have been an eye-opening, a bit of information for him. Like, hey, you don't have to kill people to save everybody. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Do you think we're going to see Negan kill Simon?
Yes.
Like, personally?
Yes. He's not going to burn. I think he's going to make him think that, no, since we've already done that, we'll probably do it again. Just like the doctor. He's going to make him think he's going to burn his face, but he's just going to...
Yeah, going to make him think someone else is being punished.
Right. Either way, I think Negan, once he finds out, he is going to... Because he's reeling from Carl still.
Oh, yeah. He said, I'm going to be feeling it for a while, too.
So, yeah.
I think that... I remember the scene in the trailer where Negan turns around and smacks someone with a baseball bat upside the head. Pretty sure it's a zombie. It's just like on the fence. But how sweet would it be with Simon, for Negan to do some kind of charismatic something and turn around and... Wow.
I think Simon, when push comes to shove, Simon is going to take his crew and just kind of leave and
I swear, man,
ride off, just form like a little splinter group.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Was for me that would be a nice change in pace, like in writing for The Walking Dead. So, like, do something different instead of like, okay, we've just got to kill this character off. How about have Simon go off for a little while and later come back as a recurring enemy? You know what I mean? Like, he's got a lot of aggression. I just keep seeing Trevor every time I see him on screen. Whenever he like gets loud, I just see Grand Theft Auto. But I think that would be a great idea. Like, instead of having Negan, and let Negan maybe kill him down the road. Maybe if he's been captured by Rick. If we start getting some of the comic storylines, have him Simon come back and Negan kill him. But I think it would be awesome. Like, have him take a bunch of mercenaries and just be gone and come back a season or two down the road, kind of like Merle did. Merle was gone for a whole, season and a half, and then he comes back, and it's like, it's Merle.
When he shouted bullshit in the junkyard, I was really like, oh, he's channeling Grand Theft Auto right now.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, it's Trevor, my favorite character on that game. But yeah, so I think we've covered most of it. If you can think of anything we didn't discuss that you'd like to hear.
This is what happens when it's a streamlined episode and they're not all over the place and trying to be whatever they try to do. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if they even try.
Sometimes they try to be deeper than they are. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a very nice streamlined episode. I mean, you're not going to have like 100% wins. And I'm at the point now with the show where I I'm pretty sure subconsciously I find certain things.
Oh, yeah. Your mind's
like,
just programmed to pick them out.
Yeah.
As much as I love the show, I do it too. I mean, I pick them apart in my mind. I try to put that in the back of my mind, but I do. I pick it apart the whole. I mean, it's just when it's one of those love-hate things. You can love something so much that eventually you start to hate it because it lets you down. But yeah, I thought it was a great episode. And if Miss Kang wrote this episode, then that gives me hope going into next season with her being the showrunner, because this was a really good episode. Very well paced. I didn't really feel bored at any point, because about time I got tired of the garbage people. We were, back to Rick and Michonne or to something else. So I really hope that they keep that going, because I really enjoyed that. It's time for the ratings. Of course, we're going to start with Maddie D. We always work our way up. Always start with the lowest and work our way up.
One day it's going to be like 9.5. We're going to
What?
See not today, though. Not today. I'll give this episode a 7.5.
I thought I was going to predict you to say 7. So that's
Let's say 7.5. It's because I want to leave room for some, maybe even an 8. It was a good episode.
JP, are you hearing this? Are you in shock? I mean, where?
But I just feel bad. Like I don't know, man. As much as the way that I feel about the show in my heart, I feel there has to be something, an 8 or higher, something amazing is going to have to happen. Or be like, I have restored faith in this show, but right, we're gonna go with the 7, between a 7.5 and 8, maybe like a 7.7.
Well, it's because you've been hurt by the show, so you're scared to let your guard down and let it back in.
Just like my prom date.
You're scared if you let it. Give it too much confidence, or you make its head too big, it's just going to run around on you again.
It's a lot like raising a gerbil.
Okay. JP?
Yeah, I was sitting on about an 8. I was thinking 8.
I was thinking about 8 myself. So should I go to 8.5?
Oh no, you should.
I'm gonna stick to 8 because I think it was a great episode. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy, oh my God episode, but at the same time, I was entertained. It was well paced. We learned, like, it was cool seeing kind of like that JADIS is going to do more than die. I definitely just thought they were just going to kill her off, but who knows? She could become alpha. JP thinks that Carl is still alive. Matt's probably tired Arm is tired from holding a microphone. It's been a day of revolution,
How are you feeling?
Revelation, excuse me.
Not too bad. I think I'm starting to get like early onset carpal tunnel though. I really thought he was going to
hold it for the rest of the podcast.
I really thought that Matt was going to hold your hand there and be like, "Oh, JP."
I was, but he handed me the microphone.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. All right. So 7.7.
7.7.
8 and 8.
Because I couldn't be an exact 8 with you guys. I can't do that.
So, I mean, I'd say that's a pretty good rating for this episode, especially coming from Matt. I think, he's jumping on up closer to the 8s now, but I hope next episode is going to be like 5.
We'll see. I'm just, there's a lot of people in that episode that I'm not really a fan of, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. It's like, let's not get away from what made this episode good. Let's go back to Rick and Michonne a little bit. Let's go back to Negan and Simon a little bit. Let's not spend, But yeah, so I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And Matt was talking about before, we want to do a little segment. We'll start doing at the end of these. Maybe we'll put like a fancy bed and intro and stuff.
Exciting.
But we're, start doing a kind of like a quick little roundup at the end of these podcasts, just like what we're watching, maybe what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, that kind of thing. Like I've got a book right here that I just bought from Barnes & Noble. Book. Called The Day After Oblivion. It's basically...
It's a Thursday.
Actually, I think it might be. It's an apocalyptic tale, but it's not zombies or anything. It's basically like a nuclear war and fallout. Kind of like The Road is the way I'm imagining it's gonna go. But so yeah, I'm reading that. So for instance, we'll do stuff like that. Hey Matt, you're reading so and so. How's that going? Or JP,
I can't read.
I'm sorry. I always forget. But yeah, so we might start doing that. Also. I haven't talked to you about it yet. I've talked to JP about it. The town that Silent Hill is based on in Pennsylvania.
Silent Hill, Pennsylvania?
It starts with a C. No, it's not actually called Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, Pennsylvania?
Oh, I can't remember.
Silent Hill?
Anyways, whatever it is, might be going there and camping out. Go there and get a hotel, not camping.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, it's a little bit better.
Go explore that. But would listeners like that? Would you like some... footage of what is it called?
As long as while we're up there, we can go to Scranton.
Oh, we've got to.
I want to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Got to.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, some fun things on the way. I almost went into a haunted house this weekend for you guys, but all I had was my cell phone camera and.
Oh my God! Why didn't you do that?
I don't know. I didn't want to break and enter. I kind of want to get permission before I go.
Well, it depends on how rickety the door is. If you can just push the door open, just entering.
I'm like Rick. I want to do right by the landowner. But yeah, so we're going back out there this weekend. So who knows? Maybe I'll just go on in there. At one point, we thought we saw like a baby hanging, and then it just turned out to be like a piece of cloth. But there was a moment there where Brad and I were like, "What is that?"
Why would a baby hang itself?
It was a
so
ghost.
much to live.
How would so much to live? Well, you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that baby's heart. You don't know what that baby's thinking.
And especially if it's a ghost. I mean,
ghost baby Casper, which apparently Casper is just the ghost of Richie Rich. Has anyone ever heard that?
Yes, I have heard that theory. Very interesting.
Anyway, yeah. So I just recommend real quick, Hard Sun. It's a show on Hulu. Two detectives. It's like a British-American show, but it's these two detectives that are basically just trying to keep peace and do their job because the world has 5 years until the sun blows up.
Oh, that's interesting. I like the concept. I'll check that out.
It's just like them and their families and stuff like that. Hard Sun. It's on Hulu.
Hard Sun. Okay, I will check that out. JP, do you got any recommendations?
I just finished reading Why the Last Man. It's a older one, but yeah, I finally finished it. It's 5 big volumes. It's an Image comic from 2002, I think, is when it started.
You finished the whole series?
I finally finished. I thought it was 10 volumes, but it was only 5. I think there were 2 different like printings. Like the originally it was 10 volumes, but then they made bigger volumes anyway.
Were you happy with the way it wrapped up?
Oh, it's one of the best things I've ever read.
I've read the first volume, and I'm excited to get to volume 2.
Yeah, so Brian K. Vaughan, he writes Saga, he writes Paper Girls. Just for my money, the best writer in comics.
I like Saga. Saga's really good.
Yeah, it's just as good as that.
Oh wow! It's like ding ding ding. Well,
I've heard good things. Yeah, I've heard good things about Why Last Man, so I'll check it out.
I mean, imagine a world without men, without any mammals of the male persuasion.
Yeah,
no penises.
Except for me,
no penises.
Oh,
yeah, you could be the Uruk in the story, the last man, just running around having adventures and fighting robots and.
Wait, there's robots? I haven't got to robots yet. There's robots?
Oh, well.
Wow, now
the
I
robots
really
don't
can't
have
wait to
penises
get
either?
back into it.
I didn't say that.
I've enjoyed it. I read volume 1 of that. I can back that up. I enjoyed it. JP and I are excited because, and Matt, maybe if he jumps on it, you've got Gideon Falls and Oblivion Song starting this week, and Robert Kirkman's writing Oblivion Song.
Yeah, Oblivion Song looks good.
Which is going to be really, really cool. So
a lot of good stuff in the pipelines. All right.
So be looking for stuff about that.
It just sucks I can't read.
Yeah. But hey, comics have pictures. Maybe you could interpret what's happening through.
If y'all could read it to me and show me the pictures, actually act out just learn the whole comic, words and everything. Act it out for me. Put on like a little show. It'll be great.
Frame 1, I stab JP in the throat, and I'm like, oh wait, the show's
not
over.
To mention, I noticed some sex scenes in Oblivion Song. That could be a little awkward. At least after.
It's acting, bro. You're not really having sex.
Huh?
Never mind.
JP. I don't even know what to say.
Bring it up.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this week. Solid episode. I really hope that we can say that more as we move through the last half of this season. I hear a lot of people expressing their disappointments with The Walking Dead and saying, oh, it's going to end soon. I would love nothing more for than The Walking Dead to turn it around and become the great show it once was. So fingers crossed, and I look forward to talking to everyone next week where hopefully our mic issue is back and I don't have to look like I'm swatting flies to let them know to pull the mic back from their mouths. But I'm hoping we'll have that problem taken care of by next
I'll practice
Sunday,
throughout this week.
You say that by shoving the mic.
But you see how I brought it back as you gave me that glare? Because I could see in your eyes you were waving your hands, but your hands
You did good.
Have time.
You did good. It was like one swift motion.
It felt really good.
But yeah, so we will see you next week. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Matt.
And JP.